Okay, so today is just about going over any questions that you might have, and just if you haven't had a chance to look at it, taking a look at all of these lovely documents that we now have on our, our Teams in our files, okay? So basically almost everything you need is in this very, very first one. It's called the AP testing guide, okay? So if you click on that, it is this testing guide is a 51 slide document, and it is meant to cover absolutely everything that you'll need to know in order to go to testing day. And it's got like internal links and all of that good kind of stuff. So let's start there, and then we can go through any questions. Okay, so there we have this testing guide. So if you want to go to the checklist, there's a checklist, there are the required documents, and chemistry has a special one or two or three that you should print before your test. There is a testing demo. I was told yesterday at our meeting that you guys have received the link to the testing demo. Is that correct? Correct. Okay. Have you been able to use it? Anyone given it a try? I think they sent you a link. If not, there's actually a link in here in this document that'll take you there. So we will go to that. And apparently, yes, it is on AP Classroom. My AP Classroom looks different from yours because I'm a teacher. So yeah, okay. They recommend that you go through the testing demo more than once, okay? Because you don't want to be there on the day of the test and like wondering, oh my God, how do I upload a document, whatever. So you should book yourself some time, maybe do it a few times over the next few days, just, you know, like practice submitting things. Pick your method that you want to submit and go through that a few times. It's on the website, search up AP exam demo coronavirus, yeah. Okay, good stuff. All right, we're going to ignore world language and culture exams. If you are taking those, you can look at them yourself. Okay, so what's on your AP? What's in this guide? We've got about your AP exam ticket, 5 steps to take before exam. So you're going to make sure that you have followed all 5 of those steps. Tips for successfully completing your exam and how to get your scores and credit and placement. Okay, so here is what your ticket will look like. You will receive your e-ticket by email 2 days before each test. If you need to get it from somewhere else, you can also go to My AP College Board, and there's a link here, you can click on that and it will take you there. Make sure that you do not share your e-ticket with anyone, okay? You could lose your chance to test. I don't know what things they have in place to track where you're at with that, but it can give you a problem if you do that. It cannot accept any additional exam registrations. So basically, well, you guys are all registered, so no problem. Make sure you save your May ticket email in case you need to request a makeup exam. Okay, now, most of you should be taking the May exam. There is a makeup date in June, but if something goes wrong during your test, like if there's a power outage, if your dog pees on your computer and it fries or whatever, you can request a makeup date for June, and you won't be able to do that if you only write your exam in June because there is no additional makeup date. So recommendation is write your exam in May, then if something goes wrong, you have a chance to make it up in June, okay? Your e-ticket will be valid for the May exam schedule. Make sure when you look at this schedule that you are looking at Pacific time, okay? So we have exams at 9 a.m., at 11 a.m., and at 1 p.m. So the schedule is all there on page 6, okay? If you cannot test on one of these dates, do not use your e-ticket for that exam. You will automatically, if you don't use your May e-ticket, you'll automatically receive another e-ticket for makeup testing in June. So if you want to write in June, or if you can't write in May, just don't use your May e-ticket and you will get one for June. Questions so far? Okay, June dates are from June 1st to June 5th. If you are requesting a makeup, oh, there's a slide about that later, so I'll talk about that when we get to that slide. Okay, again, make sure you're looking at Pacific time. Blah, blah, blah. What to expect? Okay, it will not be more difficult to earn a 3 or a 4 or 5 this year. I think in my notes from my meeting, I wrote down that you could only get a 3, 4, or 5 this year. I think that was me misunderstanding what Ms. Darcy said, because then I read this and I'm like, no, no, no. It's not that you can't get a 1 or a 2. I mean, obviously, if you rate nothing, you're going to get a 1, okay? But it's not going to be any more difficult this year to get a 3 or a 4 or a 5. AP exams are not graded on a curve. So even if everybody cheats, you're not competing against any other. There's no maximum number of people who can earn a 5. So if everybody gets a 5 this year because they all do really well, well, then there we go. This is important because I did not know this. You do not need to complete the entire question to get a score of 5. So there are many questions that might be too long for you to actually complete in the time required. But if you have enough meat in your answer, you can still get a 5, okay? So if you're going to, doesn't seem like it's even possible to cheat. I don't know how someone would cheat, but you know, you get your chemistry teacher to come and write it for you. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, let's see. You don't need to complete the entire question to get a score of 5. Yeah, so make sure that when you get to the end of your time, you are basically busy submitting rather than trying to desperately finish up a question, because you'll get marks if you have submitted something. You will get no marks if you don't submit anything. Okay, let's see. What to expect on this year's exams. You need a good testing environment at home, okay? So the more secluded you can make yourself, I know for some of you that's going to be challenging, but you know, get yourself a good pair of noise canceling headphones or something. They want you to be able to demonstrate as much knowledge as possible, and if you don't know something, you can skip it and do something you know. Absolutely, that is absolutely correct. Okay, much shorter exam this year. I hope you already know it's a 45-minute exam. I will actually have a chance to look at your responses after the exam. One of the reasons that they're doing that is so that we can check and see if you've been scored appropriately. Like if I look at your thing and you know you got a 3 and I'm looking at it and going, why on earth did they not get a 5? I can then engage with the college faculty partners, whoever they are, to review and confirm your score. The other reason is that if I look at your thing and I don't think that it looks like something that you wrote, I can accuse you of cheating. Woo, yay me. Okay. All right. I think most of you are going to do your own work, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, this slide here, slide number 11, is important. You have to choose one way of submitting your responses. So method number 1, you're going to copy and paste a typed response. So you've typed it in Word or Google Docs or whatever you want to, and you're going to copy it and paste it into the exam site. You can attach a file. That could be a doc, that could be a PDF, it could be whatever. Okay. And then finally, you can attach one or more handwritten responses. Okay, so that can be photos of your handwritten responses. And we'll have a chat about that one. They're not recommending that one because there is more risk for mishaps with that one. Okay, so we'll talk about that. No, actually, we'll talk about that right now. When you are handing in the photos, you need to make sure that when you're submitting, you have attached all the photos before you press submit. You can't, I don't think you can submit a PDF because it's harder to scan through their anti-plagiarism software. We're going to check on that because somewhere down below I thought it said PDF, but we'll check on that, okay? So anyway, yes, photos of handwritten responses, they said be careful about your handwritten, if you have more than one picture and you've uploaded 2 pictures and you press submit and you have to still upload your 3rd picture and you're like, oh shoot, oh no, I need to go back. Well, that's just going to be too bad for you, okay? Not that I think that's a huge deal. I think that you can be like, okay, do I have 4 pictures here? I have 4 pieces of paper. I have 4 pictures. Don't press send until I have 4 pictures, okay? So just be careful about that one. Okay, so option 1, copy and paste. So you're going to type it in whatever. You have to make sure you have typed your AP ID and initials at the top of the response. If it were me and I were getting ready for the exam, I would have done that in my Google Doc or my Microsoft Word before the test even starts, okay? So that would be something you would do to prepare. Let's see. When the timer has 5 minutes remaining, you are going to spend that time copying and pasting your response into the space indicated, and then you will hit submit. So on exam day, you'll have 2 side-by-side windows. You will have the AP exam on one part, and you will have your window 2 will be your document typing area. Okay. Option number 2, you are going to, it does say PDF here. So type your response into Google Docs, Microsoft Words, Notes, or a similar application. Any program is okay as long as it can save in one of the file formats. So I don't know. Don't include images. Save your work often. Okay. That's interesting. So they aren't going to have you drawing anything. Okay, that's all right. Save your document in one of the accepted file formats. Type your AP ID and initials at the top of the response. Again, do that before you start writing, I would say. And when the timer has 5 minutes remaining, attach your response and then click submit. If your exam has 2 questions, you have to create, save, attach, and submit each document separately, one for each question. Okay, and again, this is going to be on a computer. You won't be doing this on your phone. Okay, and you can use a Google Doc or Microsoft Word or whatever. Okay, option number 3. This one, you're going to use your smartphone or your tablet. And again, you're going to prepare your pages ahead of time by writing your AP ID initials and page number. This one requires a page number at the top of each page of your response. You want to write clearly in dark pen or pencil. Okay, do not write Brian Park. If you're planning on writing, you need to write darker and bigger. Okay. When the timer has 5 minutes remaining, you're going to take a photo in vertical orientation, not landscape. Okay, 1 photo per page. If your response is longer than 1 page, you'll need to attach multiple photos to a maximum of 5 photos per test question and then hit submit. Make sure you attach all of your pages before you hit submit. That's what they were talking about in terms of just be careful with this one. Don't like accidentally hit submit before you've attached all the files. Okay. Let's see, music theory, that's not us. World languages, that's not us. Testing with accommodations, I don't think there's anyone. If there is, you can just stay on the line for a minute or 2 afterwards and talk to me about that. Requesting a makeup exam. So let's say your dog pees on your computer, okay? That would be when you would request a makeup exam, and here is the link, okay, right here. You have to have your original e-ticket, and your request must be submitted within 48 hours of that original exam date, okay? By the way, I have shared my screen, haven't I? Just checking. It says I'm sharing, but yes, okay, good. Phew. Okay, we will review your form and send you an email approving or denying the request the week of May 25th. And just so you know, you will be approved if you get sickness, significant interruptions from family members, battery failures, power outages, and technical difficulties. Running out of time to submit is not a valid reason. So if you run out of time and didn't press submit in time, then you might want to say that you had a significant interruption from a family member. Did I say that? No, I didn't. Okay. So make sure that if you're going to request a makeup session that you have an actual reason, not just, oops, I forgot to check my timer and didn't submit it on time. The exam guide will guide you step by step on test day. From the moment you click your e-ticket, most students will be able to navigate the test using only the information on the preceding slides. Oh no, but unexpected events may occur. Students will benefit from additional preparation and technology checks. So prepare, prepare, prepare. The remaining slides provide further details and tips. We encourage teachers and students to work through the remaining slides together to confirm readiness for at-home AP exams. Any questions so far? Okay, slide 21. So slide 11 and slide 21 are fairly important. Review your contact information. If you are not receiving emails, log into My AP to see the email address you used when you registered to test. Make sure you have done that, okay? Choose and prepare the device and documents you will use. So you're going to be printing out some stuff, okay, that we will go through in just a bit. Oh, here is the link to the, let's see, can I grab this? No. There you go. Okay, so if you click on this, I did this morning and it didn't do anything for me, but maybe that's because I'm not a student. Yeah, see, I feel like it's a problem. I don't know. Maybe that other one that you had earlier will be better. Okay. Let's see. Let me know if you are not able to access the online exam AP demo, or actually you could contact Ms. Darcy because she is in charge of that. So email Ms. Darcy if you are not able to get on that demo. There is a document. I've posted it also as a PDF on our Teams, but you can go here and it will say, what do you need on the day? I think maybe my computer is just having problems with things, so I'm just going to forget about doing that. And you will receive your AP ID and e-ticket. Okay, good stuff. Confirm your email address. I would do this because I'm paranoid. I would just go on and make sure that your email address is correct. Okay, in subscriptions, confirm that you've checked the box to receive updates from the College Board. So if you've not been receiving emails, this is especially important. And then create a new contact with the email address in your address book or safe sender list. Don't worry, if you can't get emails from AP, your e-ticket will still be posted in your My AP account. Okay. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. There we go. Okay. Check your technology. Check that you have an appropriate device. You do not need the lockdown browser, which is good because I don't know what that is. If you have a Grammarly plugin on your computer, you will need to remove it to do the test. Not that I think grammar matters much for chemistry. When choosing between handwriting and typing, keep in mind this year's questions will not require you to submit graphs or diagrams. You may be more comfortable handwriting responses in calculus, chemistry, and statistics. However, if you want to type your responses, a guide for how to type those symbols and formulas can be downloaded here. We will take a look at that document in just a moment. Okay, there is a special how to type chemistry stuff, and I would advise if you're typing, you print that out and have it beside you on test day. With most other subjects, using a smartphone will require scrolling back and forth, which many students will find frustrating, so we recommend a desktop or laptop if available. Okay, prepare your documents for typing. Decide what you're going to use. Recommend turning on autosave. If you're using a cloud documents and want to attach your document rather than cut and paste, remember that you'll need to put it in one of these accepted formats and then save it to your device. Okay, so if you're using Google Docs, you might choose to copy and paste rather than attach, or you'll need to save it as one of those approved file extensions. Yes. Okay. Before desk day, prepare your documents by typing, oh look, they said exactly what I said. Type your AP ID and initials at the top and save it to a clearly labeled folder on your desktop so it will be easy to find. You don't want to be farting around with that on test day. That would just not be happy. AP English and History, there's just going to be one document. All other AP exams will have 2 questions this year. So you'll need to create and save 2 documents per exam, okay? So chemistry, you're gonna have 2 questions. Name them clearly so you know what you're attaching, the right one at the right time, okay? So AP Chemistry, question 1. AP Chemistry, question 2. Okay, if you are handwriting, use white. It can be lined or unlined paper. Use standard size paper, 8.5 by 11. Use a number 2 pencil or pen with blue or black ink. The maximum number of pages is 5, so you'll need at most 5 pages you'll need 10 pages for chemistry at most. You want to make sure that you number each of your pages. Oh, for this one, on every single page, you need to write your AP ID, your initial, and a page number. Okay? So every page needs your AP ID, whereas if you're submitting a document, because it's all in one place, it only needs your AP ID at the beginning. Okay, practice submitting responses. It says you can connect here. Hopefully you can. Like I said, email Ms. Darcy if you can't. If you cannot connect to this demo with your planned testing device, you'll not be able to connect to the real exam on test day. Oh no, update your browser, see the tips on slide 51, then try again. If you still can't access the demo, that would be Ms. Darcy you are going to contact. Okay. What do you need on exam day? Everybody needs your e-ticket. You need to have completed your exam day checklist, including having your AP ID. You need your chosen device. Chrome is the recommended browser, but you can use the other browsers as well. You need an internet or cellular connection. If you think there is going to be a problem with your Wi-Fi, like if your Wi-Fi is spotty or whatever, let me or actually let Ms. Darcy know. She might be able to make accommodations for you in some other way, okay? Assistive technology and devices. I don't think any of you have any of those things. Music theory, micro macro, here we go. What do you need? Chemistry, you need your periodic table of elements, okay? And you need your equations and physical constant sheet. That's the yellow one that you have. So hopefully you still have those. If not, they are in our Teams files. You can download them. And the last one that you need is if you are keyboarding, you'll want the keyboarding tip sheet printed out for you as well. You are also permitted a calculator. Okay, let's see. Optional resources. Your class notes or study guides are permitted. So is your textbook and other classroom resources. So are previous assignments or assessments. If any of you are desperate to get hold of any of your assignments or assessment, I could go into the school and arrange a handoff on Friday or something like that. You know, talk to me later if you want any of your old tests or whatever. Maybe we can arrange that. Friday is a flex day. Calculators, of course. If you have shared studied notes, you have to download it to each student device to prevent collaboration violations. Okie doke. Internet searches will waste your time and put you at risk of an exam violation. These are short exams. You are not going to have time to goof around looking things up, searching through books, blah, blah, blah. It's just going to, honestly, you should just know your stuff, okay? Yeah, I've written open book exams. They are, I wouldn't say harder than regular exams, but they're certainly no easier. May the 4th, you should have received your exam confirmation email. If you did not, then you'll want to, again, contact Ms. Darcy. Let's see, 2 days before the exam, each exam, you'll receive an email with your e-ticket and AP ID. There is a checklist. Again, this is, you can click here, or you can go to, it's in our Teams files. Okay, make sure you have printed that out. The most important thing to fill in is your 8-character AP ID code, which is on your e-ticket. You'll need this code to check in to your exam 30 minutes before your local start time. So if your exam starts at 11, you're going to want to be starting your check-in process at 10:30, okay? When is our exam anyway? I hadn't thought to check. Crazy. Okay. 11. Okay, good. That's what I thought. Okay, so 30 minutes before your local start time, you're going to check in with your e-ticket. You're going to complete your identity information, and you are going to wait for the exam to begin automatically. Why are you doing this 30 minutes ahead of time? It is not so you can just stew about for 30 minutes. It's because, like, you know, anything that can go wrong will. You know, your device that worked perfectly the 3 days before when you did your test demos is all of a sudden going to have some issue or other, and you want to have some time to deal with that, right? Okay. 45 minutes. Let's see. You have 45 minutes, 25 minutes, question 1 appears. You're going to write your answer. At 5 minutes, you're going to submit your response. Then you'll have 15 minutes for question 2. So this will be like a long written response and then a short written response kind of thing. So you have 25 minutes for the first one, 5 minutes to submit, 15 minutes for the second one, 5 minutes to submit. That gives you a grand total of, I thought it said it was a 45-minute exam. I don't know. I'm confused. 30 plus 20. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. So we have to attach the AP checklist with the exam? I don't think so. I think you just need to have it because it's just like a bad thing to not have a printout of with everything written on it. You don't want to be like fooling around with trying to log into your computer and find out your ID and all of that stuff. Okay, so when you leave here today, you are going to print out the things that I'm going to point out to you in our files. Okay. All right. Music theory, world languages, your testing environment. Be in a quiet room, remove distractions, do not disturb. Get your parents, tell them all to go for a nice long hour walk. Okay, make sure your device is plugged in. Ask others on your network to limit their use of the internet. Have your checklist and any required documents next to you. Yeah, the checklist is like your security blanket. It has everything that you need to know so that you don't have to diddle around looking for things. Exam security. You may not incorporate any work which is not your own. To identify students attempting to receive help through the web, a phone, or social media, sophisticated detection technologies and processes will be applied. Most techniques will remain confidential to maximize their effectiveness. Okay. Students found violating the exam secrecy will face severe consequences, which can include having their names reported to college admissions offices and having their AP exam canceled. Don't cheat. Besides which, cheating makes you a bad person. Okay. Check in, 30 minutes, get through the security filters. Timer shows you how much time remains. The first question will automatically appear. Do not refresh your browser. I'm really terrible because I'm always like, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? And I click things and then it's like, don't be me. Don't do that. Okay. Time until the exam starts. It'll give you a countdown. You will answer the questions. For most exams, the question is divided into parts labeled in alphabetical order. Use those letters to organize your response and make sure you're not accidentally skipping any part. You may use spell check or grammar check, but I feel like if you do that on a chemistry exam, you will be wasting your time because they don't care if you write in point form. They are good with that. Okay, chemistry is not a full sentence answer kind of exam. You may print the test questions and annotate them if you like, but you cannot use annotation software to annotate online. Oh, okay, so that's like if you wanted to highlight things or whatever. You won't be able to move on to the second question until the time for the first question has fully elapsed. Okay, so you are stuck there until if you're finished early, just chill, relax. Okay? Managing your time. During the exam, you'll see a timer at the bottom of the screen telling you how much time remains. Keep that timer visible. 5 minutes before the time is up, the timer turns red. You'll see a pop-up reminding you to submit your response. Stop what you are doing and copy and paste or attach your work. Then click submit. You can still earn a 5. I know I said this before, but even if you don't finish your response, if you don't submit it on time, you get nothing. Losing track of time and not submitting a response before time runs out is not an acceptable reason for requesting a makeup test. Okay. AP will set standards for scores of 3, 4, and 5 this year, so that it is not more difficult to earn a high AP score this year than it was in prior years. Submitting your response is a 2-step process. You either attach or paste, and then you click submit. If you don't click submit before the timer runs out, your response will not count. Once you click submit, your response may continue to transfer. This is fine. You will be able to move on to the next question even while you are submitting the first one. Okay? So long as you clicked submit before the time ran out. If your response continues to transfer after the exam ends, you are going to wait for an on-screen message confirming that your exam is complete. So if you've got like a not awesome internet connection and it takes a little while, don't close down your exam until you get that confirmation message. Okay? If you never see your exam is complete message, you are going to request a makeup and explain the situation to get the e-ticket for the June exam. What could go wrong while I'm testing? If you accidentally lose the browser, your device crashes, or you temporarily lose internet access, you can quickly click your exam e-ticket again and return to the exam. Continue the exam, and if you feel that the temporary disruption negatively impacted your performance, you can request a makeup. But if you don't feel it affected your performance, you can just be happy with it. During the exam, do not refresh your browser. Do not hit the back arrow. Do not phone customer service. Customer service isn't open. You'll just get an automated message. Okay. There are emails, you can contact them if you need to make up the exam. And if you forget them, you can always ask Ms. Darcy. But I think they're listed in this document, so you can look there. Scores, credit, and placement. Before we go on to that, any questions? Okay. As usual, 2020 exams will be scored by AP readers and scores will be reported on the usual 1 to 5 scale. To accommodate the extended scoring schedule, which requires all exams to be scored online in the readers' homes, AP scores will be released to AP students approximately 1 week later than usual, beginning July 15th. Remember to use your free score send. Sign into My AP no later than June 20th to indicate which college or university should get your scores. After June 20th, there is a $15 fee for each score report sent, and there is a $25 per report fee for rush processing. So if you don't want to spend money submitting your scores to universities, then you will want to request that before June 20th. Credit and placement. They have all sorts of quotes from people saying, yes, we will still accept AP credit. Yay. Okay. Still more. Still more. During this challenging time, the AP program wants every interested AP student to have the opportunity to earn college credit they've been working toward all year. Stay safe and healthy from the College Board. Oh, little heart emoji. Okay. Check your tech. If you cannot access the exam demo, you won't be able to take the real test. Follow these steps to change your browser. Okay, it tells you how to go through. So if you're having any problems, try that out and make sure that it works for you. And that is the end of this 51-page document. Phew. Okay, so just to, I'm just going to quickly click on this one. This is what we got from the meeting, but I think we've covered everything. You should do the demos more than once. You should be organized and not waste time. Check in 30 minutes ahead of time. Write your exam in May. Yes. No, it's not only a 3, 4, or 5 this year. I will edit that. But you're not graded on a curve, and it will not be harder to get a 5 this year or a 4 than it would be any other year. Do not call the thing. Apparently the testing guide is also up on Instagram. Our student government has put it up there. Yay. Thank you, student government. And I think that's it. If you have an injury or something the day before the exam, you need to contact Ms. Darcy right away. She'll contact the College Board for accommodations so you can write the June sitting. Although I think if you just don't use your e-ticket, you'll still get a ticket for June. So I'm not quite sure that means anything, but yeah, okay. Let's see. What else did we have? Close that. Things you want to print out. You will want to print out your exam day checklist. Okay, so this means you're going to have your ID. You're going to write the name of your exam on here. You're going to write your exam date, local tech time, and start time. I know this seems stupid, but just make sure you do it. And actually, like, physically go through here and check, am I ready? I have my AP exam ticket. My device is plugged in. There's a reason people have checklists. Pilots who have been flying for years and years and years go through every single item on their checklist every single time before they take off. And you know why they do that? Because it prevents errors, and errors prevent them from crashing their plane and dying. And while you will not die if you don't write this test properly, you will have wasted a lot of preparation time. Okay, so make sure that you've gone through all of this. Like, go through and check off, physically put a check mark on there for everything. Okay? Thank you, William. Yes, you do the checklist every time. Yes. Checklists are there and they are so super helpful. Okay. Print that out. If anyone is lacking a printer, let me know. I will print it out and I will bring it to your house. I will drop it off in a sealed envelope and it'll all be good. I'll wear gloves. Okay, your chemistry equation sheet, if you don't already have one. Ms. Spence, I'm lacking a printer. Okay, Lori, talk to me afterwards and I will see about getting you printed out copies of these, okay? So you should have this already, I think, but if you don't, that's okay. We can, again, you can print it out now, and if you don't have a printer, I will print one for you. Okay. And the periodic table. You can have a different periodic table up if you want the names on there as well, but this one will tell you how many decimal places they want you to use in your calculations, so I would do that. Okay. And the one that is important this year, as opposed to any other year, is this keyboarding tip sheet. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit. So if you want to write delta H, instead of writing delta H, you can write delta H, unless you're like me and you have all the keyboard shortcuts on your keyboard already. Okay, degrees Celsius, you can just write degrees Celsius. If you want to write a nu, you can just write nu. Instead of writing liters atmosphere per mole Kelvin with the one on top of the other, you can just liter star atmosphere per mole star Kelvin. Okay. Square roots. Okay. You can type them in as being to the 0.5 exponent. All right. That's how you square root. If you want to square it, you can do the little caret and a 2. I would actually practice typing in some of these before I got to the exam. I'd be like, okay, I want to do square root of blah, blah, blah. So practice typing that in. Let's see. Yeah, arrows, you can do like this. Apparently superscript and subscript, you're not going to have to worry about it. Equals instead of arrow is okay. You can do your conversion factors, keyboarded, okay? So have this printed out. Have it printed out. Have it printed out. Print everything out. Have it there. Have your workspace organized. If you can get like a little, you know, tack board or something, so they're just like up beside you, so you have lots of space, so they're all there. Anyway, organize your space, organize yourself, check everything. Any questions?